Hey guys, it's Shanae. So I am back from my trip, and I thought uh, I did a previous video, got a little derailed, and intended to talk about what I take to my Spravato appointments. I didn't do that, so I'm going to do that now. But um, my husband and I went to Turks and Caicos. It was great. We got COVID. That sucked, but we're better now. I've been doing good. I haven't had another treatment since like prior to our trip, which would be like video 4, I think. Video 3 actually was my last one. And then I had to quarantine, so I haven't had another one. And tomorrow I have my Spravato number 9. I'm now going into my 1 per week for 4 weeks. I just wanted to, provide a little update about things that I take with me. This might not be necessary for everyone, but I personally never did any hallucinogen or dissociative drugs or anything like that. So for me, like, I'd rather be like prepared than not prepared. And there's just some things that I find helpful, like in my own routine, and they might be totally unnecessary for you, but it's what I do, and I thought maybe it can help someone. You may be getting your Spravato at a clinic that is not your normal psychiatrist if your psychiatrist does not administer Spravato. So I think you might be going to a new clinic that you haven't really been around the doctors and that kind of thing. So for me, I know the nurse has told me that, like, I personally don't like going to the Spravato appointments. I had mentioned in my comments in a previous video, it's like kind of like my PMDD or my period, where it's like you just want it to come so that you could feel good, and it's the PMDD is over. And that's kind of how I feel about the Spravato. It's like I kind of dread it, but then I just want it to be here so that I can feel good afterwards, if that makes sense. I think for me, because I've had to, I've seen my body respond differently at different times of the month, and I've been trying to monitor and track that for myself and for others, with the PMDD specifically, because there just isn't information out there about it. But I think because I know I'm aware of changes in my own body and my own mental health with that time of the month, it just adds a layer of like, how is this going to go today? But I want to reiterate that I'm going into my 9th treatment. I haven't uploaded what every single treatment was like. If people want information on that, I do have it. But for, the sake of how treatments can differ around PMDD timeframes, that's what I uploaded more information about. I can do some, other ones, but I just want to make sure that people are aware, if they've watched my other videos. Me going in tomorrow at 9 is different than how I was at 1, and I highly recommend people, if you have a mood disorder or like something related to your cycle, I just highly recommend that you track that using if you don't already use something I've provided in the link, like a free app that I use, just so that you aren't caught off guard if things come up during the treatment that make it difficult. So like the one that if you watch the video of me, like, oh, I did my makeup, I would not have been able to do that likely like however many treatments ago. I really had to find my rhythm with it, and everyone's different. So I just want to reiterate that the things that I'm bringing up and that I've packed and things have been because I've had different experiences over the course of 9 treatments, and I don't always know what I might need, and so I just would rather have certain things than not. So first thing I take is a backpack. I don't take my purse. I don't prefer. I keep all my important stuff in like a little pouch, my cards, my money, all of that. So I have a backpack. In my backpack, I personally like to bring some kind of blanket. This is just sometimes I bring my Baylor blanket. Sometimes, you know, I'm washing that. So this is just like an old like airplane blanket from when my husband and I went on our honeymoon, like a long time ago. They have me sit in a recliner. So you might pass out. Like, some people like sleep. I'm alert and awake, so that's, not me. So I pack things to prepare for what might come up. Having your phone charged, must. I have this little guy, which is important for me. Some people, not all people, can get motion sickness and nausea. I get that in the car, so I just in my head know, like, I take Dramamine, so I take that the mornings of my treatment. They encourage you to eat. If you don't like to eat in the morning, I'm not a breakfast person. I drink a protein shake, and that's fine, and I take my Dramamine. I have high blood pressure. I take my high blood pressure pill. You are supposed to take your antidepressant, so I take my antidepressant that morning. And then I take an allergy pill. And if you have allergies or sinus problems, and like you use like a Flonase or something like that, like this, and this is kind of what the treatment's like. It's like that kind of thing. But I recommend you do that in the morning, like blow your nose and do that in the morning before, because you want like your airways to be cleared for the treatment. So in my little bag, I just have the stuff that I use the morning of. My Flonase. I like to bring my own little pack of Kleenex because some people's noses run. Mine don't, but I've cried, so they usually have Kleenex there, but I like to have my own. COVID mask. Sometimes people want those things, so I just have a COVID mask. Gum or mints. So it doesn't taste good. If you have gum in your mouth while you're doing it, if they'll let you do that, then I recommend you do that because it doesn't taste very good. So when you go in for the treatment, it's going to be, depending on how much you can handle, the max is 3. So it'd be like one device, they throw that device out, another device, they throw that device out, another device, they throw them out. It comes in 3 separate devices, and it's 3 is the max. You might only be able to handle 2. I was able to do 3 and still be aware and awake and all of that. So I keep that in here. I have like germ related things that I might want if I want to spray down the recliner or just something. Eye mask. So I had mentioned in the past to be aware of your emotional pain. If you are a person that has that you already have self-awareness of emotional pain during your PMDD, like it might not even be emotional pain. Even if you have complex PTSD, I've had mornings because I don't take my anxiety medicine that morning, or I take less, for example. Talk with your doctor about what you can and can't take. But for me, I've had mornings where like I stopped taking my anxiety medicine the day of, and I had like flashbacks in the morning because I saw something and it went to a trauma from childhood thing, and then I was like freaked out that was going to come up during my Spravato. And so that's not like, emotional pain, but like a flashback or something like that. You don't know what your morning can, like, if you have PTSD, like something can kind of bring up stuff that you're like, I don't want to feel that while I'm under the influence of something, so if you feel it, be aware of it and just try to tell yourself like, okay, how can I like navigate? So if it does come up, I'll let myself kind of embrace it and navigate it, or find a way for me to distract myself from it. Sometimes I've gotten out my phone and I've just talked to myself, but talking to another person for me has always led to lots of emotion and crying. So if it's like in a vulnerable time frame, so I prefer to have things that I can have on hand in the event just something comes up and I'm under the influence of this medication. So an eye mask is good, if you're just trying to rest. And I would say for sure, I like the eye mask, the blanket. Sometimes I take this little guy, like on the plane, just connect it to my bag. So this is one little bag that I have. I already showed my blanket. I like to have my own water bottle, right? You're going to get thirsty. Some doctors might be more strict about water or not, but you're not going to be able to walk without help or anything like that. So if you're like thirsty, I mean, it's nice to have your own water just already there. Then the other thing, I think I mentioned the gum or like a mint, something like that you can have in your mouth while it's draining in the back of your throat, because it doesn't taste very good. And then, what else do I have in here? Excuse me. Oh, here, I have this other bag of just little things that I may or may not use. I will always, these are my aftershocks. I don't know if you've seen these. You might use wireless headphones, but these basically are, they go outside of your ear so they don't like damage the inside of your ear. With aftershocks, you have to have, you don't have to, but when you're under the influence of this stuff, you can hear, if you hear a noise, it can be like really weird. And I'm like, I do not want to hear something through the wall of another patient on the phone or something like that. So I always make sure to have quite a bit of earplugs on hand. I have the tendency to lose them when I'm like under the influence of this stuff, and I need them in my ears so I can have these I always have. And I usually have a playlist on my phone. I make sure it's connected to their Wi-Fi. If you're worried about your Wi-Fi or your dad or your husband is or whatever, have it connected before you get the treatment, so you're not like, my YouTube's not working, my music's not working, or whatever it is that you need. I recommend creating a playlist of like happy things that make you feel happy, like music that makes you feel good. I have some stuff, it's random, it's like not in a playlist. If I put it all in one place, I'll go ahead and share the playlist for people. But yeah, that can be like pretty key. I haven't always done that, like I said, but in the beginning, I was trying to really find my groove with it and having to really fight for like ways to make it fun. So, so I wasn't afraid if it was a not good feeling experience. So fun music. I even have like random, not everyone's gonna need these, but like, I have random like Bible verse things. I use affirmation cards that are just funny, or jokes. If you have just something that makes you laugh, if you're not wanting to do that. I have glow sticks, okay? Like, it sounds stupid and maybe it's much, but like I said, I'm the type of person, I don't want to be sitting in a chair under the influence of something and feeling bad. I experienced that my first time and I didn't like it, and I just, if you got to redirect those feelings, you find things that are like making you happy. And for me, I like glow sticks, and I like colorful things. So, Bible verses. Sometimes I pray. So I got my bag of little these are necessary, but some of them are not necessary. I have like a cheap spray of just whatever random spray I'm trying to get rid of. Sometimes I want to spray my blanket. So, I put it in there. I'd rather have it than not, and that's just me. The other thing is, you may or may not be a verbal person. You might be like, I know I talk a lot on here, right? But when it comes to like my emotions and like deep things, other than me sharing this with you guys, which like I've done tons of therapy to do, and I'm really truly doing it to be helpful in hopes to be helpful. But typically the way that I would navigate my own emotions if I wasn't in therapy or like doing this treatment is like writing poems and kind of, journaling. My problem though is because of my ADD, I might end up journaling in like 5 different notebooks. So that's not helpful, right? You want everything in one place. So like I made sure to like go out and actually get notebooks that like made me happy. This is not necessary, but I was like, this is gonna be my notebook. I did it spiral bound so that I can, sometimes you can't even write if you're on this stuff, but sometimes I can. And if I'm not writing about what I'm feeling or what's going on or what I'm experiencing, or sometimes I might record that for my own reference later. But if I'm not like writing about it, I might be listening to affirmations on YouTube and writing out affirmations. And this is going to be whenever I'm having an experience that I just am like, I don't want it to be negative, positive vibes only, like, or I'm a little scared. I might wear brighter colors that day. Whatever it takes to help get you there. Like I said, I personally don't really like I just don't like the treatments. It's nothing against the treatment. It works. I like it when I'm done with it. But getting there and getting through it, it's just not something that I'm looking forward to. But I know but I am in a way because I know that it's helping me, if that makes sense. But to me, it's sometimes I've done like space buns and then other days it's like I'm being dragged there by my husband sobbing, type thing. So, yeah, I got like this just to write in, colorful notebook. I have like stencils. You may not use them, you might. The other thing is like, if you have allergy problems, I've taken Sudafed because I have sinus and severe allergies. It's a whole nother story, and that can affect the ADD, PMDD, just the cognitive functioning, your allergies and your inflammation. But I try to take something just to make sure like I'm breathing okay. I mean, I actually had CT scans done before because I had a sinus infection before I started this, which I thought that's smart anyways, to just make sure like everything's good in my sinuses before I'm doing this treatment that's through my sinuses. I want it to work. So if you do have sinus and allergy problems, I would consider, like, I take Sudafed sometimes. Be careful though, because your blood pressure can't be high. So whatever works for you, talk with your doctors. But I have to take allergy pill every day, and I may have already mentioned that. The other thing that I like to have, these are just little, I don't know what they're actually called. It's by a place called Aroma Boutique. My aunt actually got these for me. It was super sweet. And randomly, the first one that I had was Braveheart, but it's just essential oil in a little like thing so it doesn't leak. And if I'm feeling anxious or something, I might bust it out. But I would say the most important is definitely the headphones for me. A pre-made playlist, but just keep in mind, like, music that you think is fun or that is enjoyable to you when you're not on the medicine may not be enjoyable to you while you're on the medicine. So I found that with myself, where I like more like upbeat like things, and if I'm gonna do that, I haven't had to listen to music or do affirmations or like actively do things unless it's like I had a PTSD episode that morning and I'm trying to kind of suppress that from coming up because I don't want to be feeling it under the influence of it. I might write that in my journal and revisit it later, but I don't want to be revisiting it without a therapist present and when I'm sitting there under the influence of the stuff. So I can, and I can usually kind of come up with an action item or like a way to navigate it. But not in my first few treatments. Like, it took me more to be able to do that. So the last thing, I think that's pretty much everything. And like I said, some of this is unnecessary. Obviously you want a pen, but some of this stuff might be unnecessary, but not for me. Not for me. And the other thing, I'm the girl that no matter what, my makeup, I have an extra makeup bag in my bag at all times. And I don't even wear makeup half the time. This is like a childhood, like, part of me, because I moved a million times and was always on the go. And what girl in high school doesn't want to have her makeup with her? It's just a bad habit, but it goes with me wherever I go. I will turn around and go home, even if I don't wear makeup that day, which, like, I'm not wearing any. I won't wear any tomorrow, but I have comfort having it in my bag. That's weird, but it'll be in there. The last thing I want to say, and sorry, I'm trying to speak kind of fast because I know that these are a little long, and I'm not doing the timestamps and stuff, but I would reach out if you have a appointment coming up. I don't know your psychiatrist, their program, their process, but I showed you my notebooks and all those little things. For me, that was just part of, making it more fun for me. I hope you don't need that, right? That's just extra stuff. You don't need to spend your money. I got those things on sale anyways, so I didn't, but I needed to have them in one place. But Spravato, when you actually do Spravato, they provide you with a notebook, which is really great, which I didn't receive this though from my people until like my second or third treatment. So I'm actually, a lot of people that do Spravato have to do maintenance, so I'm still going to use this, and I think it's awesome that they provide it. It basically just has like a place for you to track your progress in your appointments, and it has like a treatment log. I have not used it because I have my own, because they didn't give it to me at the beginning, but I recommend, if you know that you have this coming up, like, reach out to them and ask them, like, hey, am I going to be receiving my welcome kit with my book? Because it's cool to have this beforehand, I think. And I meant to talk about intentions, but I can include a link. Like I said, for me, I had set intentions, and I'll do another upload on ketamine in general, but there's like multiple ways to have it administered, and I did lots of research before I decided on Spravato. And there are some resources that have really good guidance on setting your intentions, and I don't want to overpromise, but maybe I can put them in the link below at some point over the next couple days. But anyways, it really helps, I think, to do that, so that your mind, like, you're just kind of thinking about what you want to get out of it. One of the things I've learned with this program, or with this treatment, is like, it's like a navigating thing. It's almost like, it's different for everyone, but for me, in some ways, it's become like I can do some of my own kind of guided therapy in it. And so anyways, I recommend putting that in there, and then like this would be just like a great resource to log like everything in one place, and it has like your treatment session, the date, any reflections. So like if you don't have an app and you don't do like tracking your cycle, like this would be like a great place to note some of the things that I mentioned in my other video of like, I don't know why all of a sudden, but my cycle is like, I'm spotting since I've been on this treatment, I feel fine and I'm okay, and maybe it's just new medicine interaction, but it's something that needs to be discussed with the provider. So they have like down here notes to talk about with your healthcare provider. And then it also has like some just like encouragement, which is really cool, and even has like some coloring type things in here that like, not the mandalas, but just things that you can color. So I thought this was really awesome, and yellow is a really good like happy color. So I recommend reaching out prior to your first appointment to ask if your welcome book and kit would be available. And if you're going, and obviously you don't have to do this if it's difficult, but I went to a new clinic that isn't my psychiatrist clinic for the medicine. And like, if they have this before your treatment, like that gives you the opportunity to at least kind of like check out the place that you're going to if you've never been there before. So then you'll just be like a little bit more familiar even with the lay of the land, the room you might be in, the chair you might be sitting in, and then you can kind of pick up your book and like look at it before. I'm a little OCD obviously, and I like to be prepared, and I just didn't feel prepared. Like I've been learning how I need to be prepared as I go through it, which there's always going to be an element of that, but these are things I wish someone would have told me. So I'm telling them to you. I hope it helps. But yeah, I would ask them, you know, if they have it there and if you can just come pick it up prior to your appointment, so that they don't forget about it. And then, yeah, they write you like a little letter. I haven't looked at this, but I should. One of the other things that I was going to say is that I don't know the clinic that you're going with and what they're like, but I have had, they had a pharmacy change in the middle of my treatment, and that was kind of odd. The medication like isn't on site. It gets like delivered overnight to where I go, and I'll probably go with a different clinic in the future. I'm looking into that, but I have like a month to figure that out. But I did have to call a couple times and make sure that my medication, I didn't have to, but I went one time and my medication wasn't there because of some pharmacy issue. I don't know what it was. If you're a person that it's already hard to get there, like you're there for 2 hours, it's the middle of the week, I just recommend in the beginning, while you're establishing this new relationship and maybe you don't know the office dynamics, that you call the doctor's office ahead of time and just say like, I have my appointment on Tuesday morning for my Spravato. I just want to confirm that the medication is available and on hand, and just confirm that. You might feel uncomfortable doing that, and if you do, then don't do it. But depending on the clinic, I've had it happen twice where there was some kind of change and they didn't have the medication, and my husband and I went down there, and I was like obviously understanding, but then like I had to wait, reschedule it another day. It's time consuming, you know. And so if you don't want to run into delays, sometimes, you know, people get busy in their jobs. So I would just recommend, you know, calling ahead of time and just confirming that your medication's there. If they don't like have it in-house, a lot of places have to have like a pharmacy like deliver it or something like that, like overnight. So especially if you have Monday appointments, it's like they need to have it on the Friday before. Sometimes they don't, I don't know, they don't all communicate, like the nurse with the psychiatrist, with the person that deals with the pharmacy and the front desk. So to save you any time and hassle, I would recommend calling ahead of time and just making sure that they have your prescription there before your appointment, because yeah, you don't want to be having to reschedule that. So I know that was like a lot of information, but that is basically what I recommend having. Making sure that your phone is charged, you're connected to that Wi-Fi or whatever, your data, that your playlist is made, anything that you might do to sleep and block people out, the earplugs, the eye mask, your little blanket. I wear yoga pants and ponytail, like, and then if you think you might be more active, maybe some things to journal. I use, like I said, my phone a lot. Like I almost have every session, I think, of like what I'm experiencing, and I talk kind of through it so I can refer to it later. I've never referred to them. I've offered to share them with you guys if you want them, but they're probably a little out there, some of them, but that's okay. I actually have to go because I'm getting a call. And I think that's pretty much everything anyway. So tomorrow is treatment number 9 for me. And I hope this helped a little bit with what, may or may not be helpful for you to have on hand. Be mindful of anything sentimental, like pictures on your phone or anything. If the nurses come in there, there's been times where I'm like, my sister or my mom, something came up with, I had a panic attack that morning or whatever, a small trigger. And I'm okay talking about it with the nurse, but if you're not doing guided therapy, everyone just responds to it differently. But I hope that it's like awesome for you. And if you're doing it, just keep with it. It takes a little while. You're kind of like, is this working? Is this going to work? And, it might be like subtle things that you see, and it might take the whole time. So don't get discouraged, and just try to find ways to make it fun if you don't like it. To get you out the door, and just choose to be grateful, because it's expensive, and we're fortunate if we have insurance and we can do it. The other thing is they're supposed to be coming out with a program where it actually reimburses you for your office visits. Like if you have a $25 copay just for the office visit, they have some kind of program to reimburse you. I need to get that from the rep, but if you have to Uber or something there, which if you do, I'm sorry, and yeah, you're welcome to like FaceTime me, I guess, if you just need someone to talk to and you don't have anyone. Like, I said, my husband comes and he works from the other room, but after my first visit, I just preferred to be in there by myself. So the nurse will come in and check on you, and your blood pressure. But I forgot what I was saying. I don't remember what I was saying. I'm sorry. But yeah, proud of you. You might get the reimbursement for the $25. So if you do have to Uber or something, then maybe that can go towards that later. I know the ride thing is really stinky. So I will do another video about the other ketamine methods that I looked into that are not as strong, not covered by insurance, but some you can do from home. And they have lots of really good guidance online for like setting intentions and stuff like that. And I apologize in advance if I'm looking this way. I tried to do the horizontal thing, and might have me looking a little funny. But day by day, and see how my treatment goes tomorrow. All right, have a good week. Oh, and it's my birthday. Did I say that? Tomorrow's my birthday. So having Spravato treatment on my birthday, that's my gift to self. All right, bye.